Hi, in today's video, I'm going to go ahead and show you how to install VMware Player as well as Ubuntu on VMware. So let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing we're going to go ahead and do is open a web browser. So we're going to go to google.com, and the first thing we're going to download is VMware. So we're going to go to VMware download, type that in the search, and from there you're going to have a couple options. You'll see vmware.com, and we're going to go ahead and click on download VMware Workstation Player. From there, it'll take you straight to the site, and you can scroll down, and once you scroll down, you'll see Try Workstation 17 Player for Windows, and there's also one for Linux as well. So what we're gonna go ahead and do, at least what I'm gonna do, is I'm gonna get the version for Windows and install that. So that's downloading. While that's downloading, let's go ahead and open a new tab and go to google.com, and then from here, we're gonna type in Ubuntu download. So once you type in Ubuntu download, again, you'll have a couple options. You'll see ubuntu.com, and then from there you'll see download Ubuntu desktop. So we're going to go ahead and click on that. And once you click on that, you're going to get straight to this site right here, which is Ubuntu site. And what we're going to do is you're going to click on download 24.04 LTS. And once that you click on that, it's going to go straight to download. So I'm going to go back here for a second as that downloads. One thing to mention is the LTS. So what that means, and it gives you a little definition here. So LTS stands for long-term support, which means 5 years of free security and maintenance updates and extended to 10 years with Ubuntu Pro. I don't know, let's see if Ubuntu Pro costs money. I think it does, but we'll find out. Yep, so right there. So it is a comprehensive subscription for open source software security, 30-day trial for enterprise, always free for personal. Oh, so if you're using for personal use, you can get the Pro for free, but if it's enterprise, you're gonna have to pay for it. So in this case, we're not doing the Pro, so I'm just gonna exit out of that. But now you know that you just get 5 years of support with this version here for the LTS, but if you want to get the Pro, you get up to 10 years of security updates and maintenance. So, all right, so that's downloading, and we're gonna click on the downloads here. Depends on the browser you use. If you're not using Chrome like myself, we're gonna go ahead and click on the folders here, File Explorer, click on downloads, and you'll see the ISOs right here being downloaded, but it looks like VMware Player installation is, or the exe has been fully downloaded. So we'll double click on that, click on yes, and I want to minimize that. All right, so I'm gonna click on this installation if it pops up here. Okay, there it is. And then it's gonna bring you to this VMware Workstation wizard. So it's gonna help you install VMware. So we're gonna go ahead and click on next. From here, if you want to, you can read the end user license agreement if you like. I'm not going to spend the time to read that. It's up to you. In this case, I'm hitting next or accept and next. And from here, you're going to see it's going to install the VMware into this folder path. If you want to change it, you can. I'm just leaving it to the default. As well as you can see here, this is add VMware Workstation console tools into system path. I'm going to do that because VMware tools help with, if you want to maximize your VM that you have, you can, and it's going to do it, versus if you don't, then it's going to be stuck to one size, which kind of sucks. If you have a full big screen monitor, you want to go ahead and make it bigger. So that's just me. If you want to do the enhanced keyboard driver, you can. I'm not. Leave it to default. Okay, so from here you can do check for product updates on startup. I'm going to leave that, so that way anytime there is an update for VMware Workstation, I want to get that, make sure that I am aware of these updates. That way, if there's any vulnerabilities within VMware Workstation, at least that's getting patched because of that update. Now, you can join the VMware Customer Experience Improvement Program. This gives them, sends any error logs or anything like that that you may experience to them so they can work on it. I'm not gonna checkbox that. I'm gonna uncheck it just because I don't want nothing of my stuff being sent out. Even though they say it's anonymous, again, I'd rather not. So I'm gonna go ahead and click next. From here, you have the option of if you want to create a desktop icon or if you want the program to be in your start menu. So if you go here, you probably end up seeing it if you click yes. In my case, I don't like seeing apps that I install in there right away, so I'm going to uncheck that and leave it on desktop just because I like it have it on desktop. That's just me personally. All right, we're going to hit next. And then from here, you can just click straight install. From there, it's going to start installing. And as that installs, let's see the progress of this. ISO for Ubuntu, it looks like it is halfway there. Oh, let's see, yep, halfway there. It keeps clicking out of here. It's 5.7 gigs, so it's a pretty hefty file, but that's okay. And right here you can see it's done, so we're gonna click finish. One thing to mention about VMware Workstation Player is this is a free version for personal use only. And if you're a company trying to use this, you will get in trouble if you don't buy this workstation license. So make sure if you're going to use it for enterprise that you get a license. If you're a personal user, you're okay. So as you can see here, I've done some installation of Ubuntu already. I'm gonna go ahead and remove these virtual machines. It just found the files that I had when I had these VMs. Okay, so I'm gonna do, I already have this pre-downloaded, so we're just gonna go straight to installing this Ubuntu on this VM. So I'm gonna click on create a new virtual machine. And then from here, you wanna find the ISO, so you just click on browse, and I'm gonna go to where I put it is in my ISO OS folder. So I'm gonna click on that ISO, hit open, and then click next. From here, it's gonna want you to personalize it. I'm just gonna call it Ubuntu, and the username, same thing. Just an FYI, if you do put a capital letter in here, it's not gonna let you do that. So let's see, it's gonna give you a warning. So just make sure the username is all lowercase, and then you won't have any issues there. From here, you can name your virtual machine. I'll just go ahead and name it Ubuntu. And then from here, you could set the location where you want it. Looks like it's putting it in my documents folder, which is a strange place, but for this case, it doesn't really bother me. And then it'll just be under virtual machines Ubuntu. So I'm hit next. So you can see it's gonna put a minimum size of 20 gigs of hard drive. If you want more, go ahead and do that. But if you wanna just keep it at 20, you can. But there is a spec on here though, system requirements. It looks like you're gonna need a 2 gigahertz dual core processor or better, 4 gigs of system memory, which is RAM, and then 25 gigs of free hard drive space. So that's kind of strange that it said 20 here, but we're gonna go ahead and do 25. It's always good to look at the manufacturer site of what they recommend. So Ubuntu recommends 25, I'm putting 25. You can put 20, I've done it before, had no issues, but I'm just gonna do 25 just to follow the system requirements on Ubuntu site. Then here you have a choice of storing as a virtual disk as a single file or multiple. I'm gonna leave it at default. You can change it to whatever you want. Gives you a little more description here, but for the sake, I'm just doing default. Hit next, and then from here, you're able to customize your hardware. So I'm gonna click on that. From here, by default, it looks like it puts the memory at 4 gigs automatically, so I'm gonna leave it at that. If you wanna increase it, you could just drag this up, or you could just manually type it in here. I'm gonna go ahead and put default size, which is that. And then from here, you got the processor. So it looks like it did 2 automatically for the processor cores to be used. If you have more, like at myself, I have 8, but I'm gonna go ahead and leave it at 2, and then leave it at that. This is just for virtualization. If you wanna look into that, you can. For this sake, I'm just gonna show you the installation process. So here you just see where the ISO is at, where it's pulling it from. This is your network. So this right here automatically by default uses your PC's internet connection. So it just ties in with that. So that way if you want internet, you automatically have it. But if you don't, you could do host only a private network, or you could do a custom one if you'd like. USB is just so if you want to plug it in your USB into a PC, that way you have access, show all USB input devices. I'm leaving it unchecked because I don't need no USBs to be at my VM. You got sound card, so if you want to play audio from your VMs, you can. And then you got display, I'm leaving it at default. Once all those configurations you made are done, you just hit close. And then from here, it says power on this virtual machine after creation. So I'm gonna do that and leave it at that. If you don't want it to power on right away, you just uncheck that. But in this case, I'm just gonna leave it on and hit finish. So once you click finish, what it's doing is it's running the ISO on boot, and it's gonna install Ubuntu. So once you see this is normal. You're gonna have a bunch of these pop-ups. I'm gonna click on this to get rid of that one right here. So now it's going through there, and now you see Ubuntu. So this is just gonna basically load, and once it loads, it's gonna just start up a prompt to get started into the installation process of what you want. You're gonna have a few different options that will be displayed to you. Okay, so as you can see here, Ubuntu is installing, and it's gonna ask you what languages you wanna do. There's a ton of them in here. For the sake, I'm doing English, because as you can tell, I'm speaking English at this moment. I'm gonna hit continue, and it's a little slow as you can see, but once you hit continue, don't worry, you'll see that. And then you have a choice between if you wanna do normal installation, This is going to include like web browsers to utilities, games, media players, all that. But for this sake, I'm just going to go ahead and switch to minimal installation. That way it goes through it quicker. But if you want a lot of these utilities, you can go ahead and actually do normal installation. For here, you could see that for other options, download updates while installing Ubuntu. I'm going to uncheck that just so I could save time on getting this loaded up and going. But I would recommend doing the download updates. That way you get anything patched that's necessary. And if you want to install like third-party softwares for graphics, Wi-Fi hardware, and additional media formats, you can definitely check that. For this case, I'm gonna leave it unchecked. And then what I'm gonna do is hit continue. And then once you do that, it's gonna go ahead and start prepping out your VM environment for Ubuntu. So now you're gonna end up in this page right here for this installation piece here. This computer currently has no detected operating system. What would you like to do? So that 25 gigs that we allocated for this VM is basically what's gonna happen. It's gonna format that, and then it's going to install Ubuntu on that 25 gigs or whatever space you're utilizing. So I'm gonna just do a erase disk and install Ubuntu. And then if you want, you can do something else, but in this case, I'm leaving it at that. Hit install now. And then from here, I'm just gonna hit continue. So by the way, when you do the erase disk piece, it's only that 25 gigs or whatever space you gave. It's not going to delete your PC at all by any means. It's in the VM environment only, so you're good. From here, you're able to choose your different time zones you want. I'm just gonna do Chicago. I think that's Central Time right there. So I'm gonna hit continue. And then from here, you're able to put a name you want for your system. I'm gonna just do who am I, because why not? And then choose a password. Of course, I'm doing 4 letters just because I'm booting this up. Normally I would do minimum of 15 characters, no less than that, mixed with uppercase, lowercase, and special characters and numbers. This way you don't have a weak password because you don't want it to be cracked so easy. As you can see, it's already still like downloading as you're setting this up. And you could do login automatically if you want, or require a password when logging in. I'm gonna go ahead and just leave it at require my password to log in so we could see what it looks like. Normally, you could do login automatically because if you lock your actual personal PC, no one's having access. But if you want like the extra security, you could definitely do require my password, which is a good recommendation. So we're gonna go ahead and click continue. And then from here, you're gonna go ahead and see that it's installing on the bottom there. It's gonna give you a nice little welcome. If you want, you can click on these arrows and you could find out some cool things about Ubuntu if you're bored while doing this, or you can go ahead and do something else on your PC as it installs. Oh, and by the way, don't worry, these links will be provided below on where to install VMware Player as well as the ISO Ubuntu. I'm gonna leave it in the description below. And if you have any questions, leave it in the comments as well. If you have any troubles or issues you're dealing with, let me know and I'll do my best to assist you. I've ran into issues before in the past. I've overcame them, found some solutions to them. So if you have any issues, just let me know and I'll be happy to help with that. And then as you can see, once you get this installation done, you just hit restart now. And what it does is it's gonna go ahead and get it fully installed on your VM. Also, I'll be creating other videos as well. So installing like Windows 10 or Kali Linux, those will be coming out soon. And I'm gonna create a playlist so that way if you wanna know how to install a VM while also installing specific OSs, you'll get like a step-by-step process on how to do that. So that's to come. So once that's done with the installation there, it's gonna lead you directly to this page here. You can click on who am I, and then I'm gonna just type my password. And then once you type your password and hit enter, it should let you in your system here. All right, so once you get in here, you're gonna see if you wanna connect your online accounts. In this case, I'm gonna click skip. And then from here, you could enable Ubuntu Pro, but in this case, I'm gonna skip for now. And then help improve Ubuntu. I'm gonna say no, because I don't like sending my data. Again, just a privacy thing. Hit next, even though it's probably unanimous, but again, I'd rather not. Location service, I leave that off always. There's no reason to have it on. You could always use your mobile phone if you want to use GPS, but again, I'd rather have this off on your computer. Unless you're using a laptop to use navigation, but most times you're using your phone. So leave that off. And then from here, you can kind of see some of the softwares they have here. Since I didn't install the suite, I didn't get any of these. So if I want to install them, I can, but I'm not going to in this case. And then once you're done here, click done. And then from here, you can kind of see some of the apps I have, which is not very many, because again, I did the minimal. And that is basically it. That's how you install VMware Player and also get Ubuntu on this VM. Click remind later for the update. So if you have any, again, questions, leave in the comments below. I'll be happy to help. There'll be more videos coming out here soon as well, how to install, like I said, Kali Linux, and as well as Windows, and maybe a few other different flavor of OSs. If you have any questions, leave in the comments. Make sure to hit that subscribe and notification bell. Have a good one.